Okay, now in this part, I'm gonna kind of talk about some of the things that I did lose. All right, I lost three vehicles. One of my babies, I had bought a 2015 Dodge Challenger Hemi. I built that car from the outside to the inside, and I remember when the dealership called me at work, Mr. Drake, guess what? Your car in. I told them, don't even take the plastic off. I want to do it. Took the plastic off myself. I put the first mile on that vehicle. That was my baby, man. I love that car probably more, almost more than I love my baby, my son, mom at the time. But I'm just kidding. I love her. I love that girl. Um, so yeah, I lost three vehicles. I lost four jobs. No, three jobs. One of those jobs I lost three times. One of those jobs I lost three times. Got fired once. They let me back. Got fired again. They let me back. It got fired again. Because, like I said, at the time, man, that drug takes over your brain where nothing matters. Your kid life, your parents' life, your life, it don't even matter, man, once that drug take over your mind. Most important, like I said, your kid, my own son took over, and I didn't even care about my own son, man. I know. So, all right. So, and so, like I say, I got back from rehab, and all of that stuff happened, and like I say, the drug had got even worse. So, I started working for the ambulance service. So I was going, taking patients to the ER because I worked in that ER too. So I was cool with everybody. And I can remember I stole a prescription pad because I had worked in the emergency room for 15 years. I've been working around the doctors for 15 years. So I knew all the doctors' signatures. I knew how doctors write. All that gibberish. Like, healthcare people understand that gibberish. You don't understand that gibberish. The pharmacists understand that gibberish. So I started writing my own prescriptions. And I would write them in my name and other people's name and pick them up. So one time, I can remember I wrote a script for like 90 pills. The ER can't write that many pills. So I wrote for 90 pills. And I wound up getting caught. The pharmacist called the ER to, see that the doctor really signed that prescription for 90 pills, but no, they didn't. So I got caught. The DEA called me probably like a month later and told me, we know what you've been doing. We done did a investigation on you. We know every script you done wrote. We know every pharmacy you done took them to. So, they talked to me about it, and I came out and I was honest. And he said, something saved you. Because you're supposed to be going to jail right now. But the doctors in the ER saved you. They told us that, you was a good guy, stand-up guy, hard-working guy. So we would take the blame for it all. So those doctors looked out for me. I wouldn't thank all you doctors, for looking out for me. You didn't have to do that. But after 15 years, I did build a bond with all of them, and they knew who I was. They knew who I was before the drugs. They know what type of guy I was. Type of guy, man. I get a shirt off my back in below 20-degree weather. I would get the socks off my feet if in snow 5 inches off the ground. I would get my socks and my shoes up. That's hard working guy. And The drugs took that guy away, man. I can remember my son mom always saying, where is that guy? Where's the guy I fell in love with? This guy here? I don't even know. And so they did, and we talked, and they said they wasn't going to arrest me, and I thank God for that, because I never been to jail. I don't want to go to jail. So I didn't learn my lesson because the drug, people who's addicted know, they understand. So I started back writing prescriptions, and I got sloppy with it. Like instead of writing up one prescription, and then a week or two later write another prescription, man, I was writing prescriptions every day. Every day I was taking them to different pharmacies. Every day. So the pharmacy, I got caught. That same DA called me. Mr. Drake, didn't I tell you, just don't do it again? I told you, I warned you. This time, I'm on my way. I'm picking you up and whoever lived with you. And it was my mom at the time. I'm picking you up and her up. I'm taking both of y'all to jail. I'm on my way. Be ready. And as the story go on, I remind you guys at this point. So I'm, I'm crying like, man, I feel to go to jail. I didn't got my mom into this. I don't want to go to jail. I don't think I could survive in jail. So the night went by. They didn't show up. Because he had told me, I know where you live. I know where you live. And the night went by and he didn't show up. Sign of relief. He wound up texting me the next day and said, "You're lucky. We was on our way to pick you up. We had to go pick up a pharmacy tech, and it was a weight lifted off my shoulder because I just knew I was gonna go to jail. And for writing prescriptions, man, you go to jail for a while for that. You know, that's not a petty crime. That's a big crime. Writing prescriptions for what schedule one narcotics. You know, people going to jail for 10 pills that ain't even, if it ain't no proof that they're yours, you're going to jail. They not playing about them narcotics, man. I'm telling you, if you out there, dude, they will send you to jail over a pill. So he didn't come, and I thank you, God. So my sickness, man, it got worse. It got worse to where I couldn't even go to sleep at night. I couldn't go a day without taking my pills. I couldn't go a day without it. Like before rehab, if I didn't have drugs or something, I can take, some strong sleeping medicine and I can go to sleep. But man, I couldn't go to sleep because that it's all eating away. You gotta have it. Gotta have that drug. You gotta have that drug. That's all my brain was telling me. You gotta have it. You gotta have it. Just like that fast. You gotta have it. 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 If I didn't have it, you gotta have it. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. I couldn't even go to sleep. I couldn't even lay down. I can remember one night I couldn't find nothing. Man, I was up at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, looking for the pills because my brain, my mind wouldn't allow me to go to sleep because I had to have it, man. And so, yes, I started back stealing from my mom. Started back stealing, punning. Man, I punned my mama TV and her laptop 6 or 7 times. She couldn't hide it from me, man. Man, then I remember one day reality hit me, man. My mom, she used to have to hide her purse when she come home. My mama never had to do that because I wasn't that type of person. She had to hide her purse. Oh man, I'm sorry, mom. But so the next video, we're gonna get to the good parts. All right, let's talk about. Let's get to the good parts of my life, my the story. And I don't think I said this, but about my life, I was never supposed to be on drugs. I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised in a family that had drug addicts and alcoholics, and I was always in the church and stuff like that. Drugs was never, in my path because my mom didn't raise me that way. But this is the good part about it. So one day I was laying in the bed, and that rehab that I went to, they called me out the blue. I didn't even call them. I didn't, they called me. They said, "Mr. Drake, would you like to come finish, your rehab?" I said, "Sure." I ain't have to think twice about it because I know where I was going. I know the route I was going, so I didn't have to think twice about it. So I said, I'll come back, but I don't want to go back to Phoenix because I really didn't. I mean, no one treated me bad or nothing like that. I just didn't like that vibe. Like when I went get through a detox and went to the house, like they go make groceries. You make a grocery list and they go make groceries for you or whatever. So my first day there, they haven't went and made groceries yet, but they had a whole lot of groceries. So I remember I went in the freezer and saw some M&Ms. I just ate a couple M&Ms, and when the white guys say, um, that's such and such M&Ms, you can't eat other people's stuff. So I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. I thought they just made groceries for the whole house to eat. So when I woke up that next morning, um, everything was labeled. They labeled everything and put "Do Not Touch." So I just felt like they did that because of me, just going and getting some M&Ms, big bag of M&Ms. But so they said, yeah, we can sing somewhere. So they sent me to California. So I went to California, and the drug rehab they sent me in California. When I first got there, there wasn't any nurses or doctors there, so I was withdrawn. So I was in a lot of pain. I was sick. So, and the doctor wasn't gonna be able to come in. He didn't come in like 9 at night to write everybody medication. I had got there in the daytime, so I was mad. I was hurting. I was sick. I said, "Send me back to Phoenix. Let's go back to Phoenix." And they say, "No, you don't need to go back to Phoenix. Just stay here. Just give it a little time. The doctor being at 9." I said, "9 tonight?" They said, "Yeah." I'm like, it's just like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I gotta go through this for 8 hours. So I wound up staying, man. I think that's the best thing that was for me, man, because when I got through a detox, they sent me to this house, huge 20,000 square feet house in the hills, like in California in the hills. Man, we were so high in the hills, you could see a place called I think it's called Big Bear, and in Big Bear it's a mountain and where they go skiing and stuff like that. And you so high when you get up in the morning, you can't see the city because it's clouds, you know. So man, everybody, as soon as I walked in the house, man, it was like a brotherhood in that place, man, because we all is here for one reason, and that's to get better. And and man, just the love they embraced me, man. And that's just like when someone new came in, I was part of that brotherhood, and I loved it there, man. So we go out every day to meetings and stuff like that. We go out, we do our meetings off site. So when my time was up, like whenever it's time for you to go, your last day before you go to the airport, and you go to your meeting, your last meeting, they get you to come up and they get you to just talk about your experience and give them your life story, stuff like that. So I grew up in a church, so I knew God. So I can remember I was just talking, and I started talking about, God. I started talking about the Bible, man. And I started talking about like we as addicts, we try everything, man. We try rehab, we try cold turkey, we try different drugs. But I was telling them, man, one thing that we never try to do, we never try God. That's it. We never try God because I'm telling you, just like when I asked God, like, why did you let me go through this so long? He said, not once did you ask for my help. Now, there's something about God. You have not because you ask not. He said, you never asked for my help. And in 13 years, I never asked for his help. I never asked to be brought out of it. But it's a bigger picture in this. So I was just talking about, let's try God. I started talking about King David and like when David, it's in the Bible where when David went out for war with him and his men, they went out for war, and when they came back, their wives and their kids was taken, and they village was burnt down. And I talked about how David, he went into like a sunken place. He went not a sunken place, but a dark place, because even his men, they began to talk about him. They began to doubt him. But he went up, he prayed to God and asked God, should I go after my people? Should I go recover my people? And God said, yes, you shall recover all. So I was talking about King David, and I was talking about our situation because of the drug addicts. We lose so much to the addiction, and we get taken to a place. But God said, you shall recover all. So I was just talking about how we gonna get everything back that we lost. We gonna recover it. And one of the girls, it was a girl there when we go outside, have for a break. She said, the stuff you was talking about God. See, I don't believe in God, but the things you were saying about God, is it true? Like I said, yes, it's true. It's in the Bible. And she would say, so I've done a lot. She said, I've done a lot. I don't think God will forgive me for it, because she was saying, how do your God allow, certain things to happen, hurricanes, and just, a family of 5 get killed by somebody, the devil, stuff like that, man. So I said, yeah, all that's true, man. God will, and I just went into scripture with her. She said, when I get home, I'm going to church and I'm going to give my life to God. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give my life to God, and I'm going to start serving God. And I began to cry at the time, because everything that I went through, it wasn't for me. It was for that moment. It was for God didn't take me through that for me to flex on me. God took me through that for that moment. This girl, she was an atheist, and she didn't believe in God. And man, I'm gonna tell you, hell is hot. Hell is hot. Hell is super hot. We in hell, you take no breaks. You get no breaks in hell. I'm 34 years old. It took a long time to get 34 years old. I'm sorry, y'all. It took a long time to get there. And if you go to hell, you're going to be in hell for those 34 years. Those 34 more years. Those 34 more years. You're going to be in hell for eternity. You're going to be in hell for eternity. And it won't be breaks. You will never get used to it. You would never get used to the fire. Your body would not adapt to it, so you're gonna just be burning for eternity. So at that moment, I just began to thank God at that moment because yes, I was in Phoenix. What if I stayed in Phoenix, man? What if I stayed in Phoenix and didn't go to California? That girl would never heard what I said, and she would never chose to give her life to God. Now, if she did what she said she was gonna do, I don't know, but that's what she told me. Because, like I say, she was an atheist, and you know where an atheist is going. So I began to ask God, and then when I went back to the house, I mean, at the time, the way I was feeling out, I just started talking to God, and I asked God, I said, God, why you take me through this pain? Why you take me through this for so long? He said, listen here. He said, I sent my son. I sent my only son down here to get whipped, to get his hands nailed to a cross. And he said he showed me a picture where when they was whipping God, they had these whips and they had these nails and barbs at the end of them. And every time they whip him in the back, those nails, they dig into his skin and they rip it out. And he said, you complaining about what that? He said, could you go through what my son went through? He said, don't complain. Don't ask me no questions. He said, I put you through it because you could have went through it. You could have went through it. That's why I put you through it. If you couldn't bear it, I wouldn't put you through it. So I started thanking him for everything. I thanked him for what I went through because it was for a reason. And I just so so I asked him again. Mm, sorry. So I say, God, why didn't I go to jail? Why didn't I become homeless? He told me. He said, I didn't want you to become it. I only wanted you to live it because you had to live it to get to where I needed you to be, where I needed you to go. You had to live it. I didn't want you to become it. That wasn't my purpose of putting you through this. It wasn't for you to become what that was. It was for you to live it to get to where I needed you to go. So the next part of this video is going to continue with the good things that happen. See you in a minute.